Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Yin, our last class for January. So let's head straight into the practice. We'll start with a reclined butterfly pose. So grabbing your bolster and a couple of blocks, and I'm going to place the bolster up one end and make a support with your blocks to rest the top end of your bolster on. Nice sturdy support. You might like to have a cushion at the base of your bolster, depending on the height of your bolster here. And then we're going to lay back over our bolster. Lying back once you've found that sturdy position. And then from having your knees bent, bring the soles of our feet together and allow our knees to drop out to the sides. So if you feel like this is a little bit too much for your knees or for your hips, could place a couple of blocks underneath your knees. There's some support. And let's all do one side. So taking a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Just doing a few natural breaths. And let's do one more, a deep breath in through our nose and out through your mouth with an ah. Just allowing the weight of your body to rest onto the bolster. And noticing what you can feel here. So we're working in our inner thighs, working at finding that edge. So you can shift your feet further away from your body to lessen the stretch in your inner thighs. Or if you're needing a little bit more, bring your feet closer towards your torso. So that edge is the place that just feels right for you, where something's working. We're not pushing or straining, just feeling that sense of ease. And gradually, as we stay for time in each yin pose, which can be up to 5 minutes, but you can always come out early. You may notice that edge shifts in that time, and you might need to do some small adjustments to find a new edge. So you're in connection with your body and what your body needs in each moment. In any of the poses you experience any pain or any sharp stabbing sensations or simply too much sensation, they're all signs that you need to ease back. We'll come out of the pose. Not every pose is for everyone, and there's lots of different options, so you can always talk to me after class if the pose wasn't for you. And let's take now 2 more breaths here, just in your own time. And now let's bring our knees back up and place our feet on the floor. And then we're going to slowly roll off our bolster and down onto our back. So you can roll to one side. You like to come up to support, to remove your props to one side. And then head down onto your back to move into the rebound of the pose. And once you are lying on your back, I'd like to do a windshield wiper lying down by placing the soles of your feet on the floor about the width of your mat, knees bent, and dropping one knee into the center. Time. Just to ease out through our hips. And then let's take our legs out long here. Just pause for a moment. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. In the rebound, we are allowing some time and space for the energy to flow through the fascia. It's this sense of release that we have when we come out of each yin pose. We just allow some time for that to rebalance. And from here, staying lying down, we're going to come into a reclined half saddle pose. So if you bend into your knees, place your feet flat on the floor, about the width of your mat. And we're going to do a windshield wiper again, dropping our knees over to each side. And the next time you reach the right-hand side, allow your knees to drop there. You may need to move your buttocks a little bit. So there's a little bit of an arch in your lower back, your lumbar spine here. And if you're finding that your knees are hovering off the ground and it's a little bit uncomfortable, you could place a bolster underneath your lower knee. You could also put one in between your knees to support your upper knee. Or use a bolster and a blanket under both. And if you like, you can take your arms above your head and see how that feels for your shoulders. If you do experience any tingling in your hands, just bring your arms back down again. That's a sign you could be compressing a nerve. So it's important to come out if you experience that tingling in your hands. And for anyone who's not feeling too much down the top of your left hip, your hip flexor. You may like to bring your hands down, and you could take a hold of your left foot with your left hand and bringing your left heel in towards your left buttocks. So that will increase the stretch down the top of your left thigh. And just using your breath here to soften. You can soften into the pose as you exhale. Still keeping in connection with that edge. So you're feeling your way in each pose. Now we're going to slowly release out of this side and letting go of your left foot. If you're hanging on there, bringing your arms down, allowing your legs back to the center. Going to a windshield wiper again from side to side. We'll feel the full effect of the rebound at the end of the other side. So this time when your knees drop over to your left, allowing them to rest there. Doing the opposite side here we did before. Using any supports you need, so some bolster underneath either knee or both knees. Moving your hips slightly. Taking your arms above your head, you're working there. I'd like to work there a bit. And then if you're deepening or needing more of a stretch down the front of your right thigh, taking a hold of the top of your right foot, and bringing your right heel back towards your right buttocks. That will deepen the stretch down the front of your just inviting yourself to simply be here. Finding a sense of letting go of what's been or what's still to come. And just being right here. You can use your breath to anchor yourself right here. Or you can also notice the sensations in your body. Sensations could be feelings of warmth or cool, tingling. Just subtle tingling though, or subtle pulsation. Now let's take 3 more breaths here, just in your own time. You've finished your breaths, releasing your arms down to your sides, releasing your feet, putting your feet flat on the floor, and you may like to windshield wiper, or you may like to simply bring your knees to your chest, wrap your arms around your knees, and gently rock just to massage out our lower back. And let's take our legs out long just to feel the full effect of the rebound. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. Noticing any sensations in your legs or in your feet, perhaps even your toes. And now let's leave the rebound and roll to one side, and we're going to come up to a sitting position using the support of your arms. And from here, we'll come into a wide knees child's pose. And we're going to add in a lateral stretch on either side. So you can do your child's pose with a bolster support or just straight on the floor. See how you feel. So taking your knees out wide, make sure you've got some nice padding for your knees. Important to support your joints. And if your buttocks doesn't drop back towards your heels, if it does, feel free to take it there. If it doesn't, you can place some padding like a cushion or a blanket in between your calves and your thighs. And then taking our arms out front to start with, and resting our forehead to the ground. So you can rest, could place a small blanket under your forehead. Or you can, as I mentioned before, rest. If you feel like you need a little bit of height, rest up onto a bolster here. You're just allowing the weight of your body to feel supported by the ground. And finding that edge here, noticing the positioning of your knees in terms of how your inner thighs and your hips feel. So if you're feeling like it's too much, you might have them a little bit too far apart, so you can lessen stretch by bringing your knees closer together. Or if you need to go a little bit deeper as time goes on into the pose, you might like to take your knees a little bit further apart. And softening through your shoulders and feeling and sensing that energy from your shoulders, traveling down through your arms, into your hands. And from here, let's crawl into our lateral stretch. So staying where you are and taking your arms, crawling your arms over to the left-hand side. So your knees, legs stay as they are. Till you start to feel it up the right-hand side of your body. And remembering if you feel like it's a little bit much, you may like to come out of the pose for a little bit, have a little bit of a rest, or move through your hips. Then you could go back in. You have the freedom to honour your well-being. Really important to honour your well-being. And it's a part of the practice of Yin to feel what your body needs in this present moment. Staying connected with your breath. Now let's crawl our hands back to the center. And you may like to come up onto all fours, just for a bit of gentle movement. I'm rocking backwards and forwards. And then dropping back down to your buttocks, and crawling our hands over to the right-hand side. Use your bolster here if you're working there. Just connecting back into your edge. That place where you're feeling something, but not too much or not too little. And adjusting your body to find that Goldilocks position. You find you've got lots of thoughts. Just working at observing your thoughts. And observe them and just bring yourself back to your breath or to your sensations and sensations in your body. We all have thoughts, what our mind does. We spend most of our lives thinking. And here in the practice of Yin, we can observe our thinking and bring it more into a feeling mode. And gradually, over time, our thoughts may drop into the background. It's a way of calming or quietening our mind through the practice. Just being here in the feelings and sensations. And let's take 2 more breaths here. And making your way back to the center. And then coming back onto all fours. Just doing a little bit of movement through your hips. Just feeling your way with this. And let us sit on a square cushion just to briefly feel the rebound here. Take your legs out in front. You can lean back on your hands. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. Let's do one more. A deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. And releasing our hands. And from here, we are going to deepen into our hips and our inner thighs and come into frog pose. So for frog, make sure you have some padding underneath your knees. I'm taking my knees out wide and allowing my feet to and lower legs just to go behind me as they are. So this is probably wider than wide knees child's pose. And you may like to have a bolster to rest on here. And so you can come forward onto the bolster and you can shift. I will just show you the other way so you can see my hips. My legs are behind, coming onto a bolster, and you can shift your hips forward a little bit or backwards to find that juicy position for you. You can also bring your knees closer in or take them further apart to feel it in your inner thighs. You can rest onto your bolster. You can rest right down, or you can come onto your elbows. Or you could even come right down to the ground, depending on how you're feeling. That's quite a deep, deep stretch. So tune into your body. Just be here for a little bit longer than another minute. Using your breath here to soften as you exhale. You can start to move any energy from your upper body into your lower body. Use your breath here. Taking 3 more breaths in your own time. Finished your 3 breaths. Going to start to make our way up by bringing your knees in. You may like to let out a groan. And you may like to come onto all fours. See how you feel. Just move a little bit through your hips. Let's take it nice and gently. And then let's lie back down onto our backs now. Feel full effect of the rebound on our back. You can take your legs out long. Just allow your legs to go out long, and let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth with an ah. Noticing any sensations in your hips, in your legs. Ah. Now let's turn over onto our belly. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. Lying on our belly. Just coming into a spinal extension. We're coming up onto your forearms here, and you can have either your elbows roughly underneath your shoulders, or some people like to take them a little bit further out to the sides. Just notice how that feels for you. And if you know the progression and feel like you'd like to deepen into the pose, head on in at your own pace. If this is feeling too much for your lumbar spine, you can come over the top of the bolster. This lessens the compression in your lumbar spine. Or as a deeper option, you could come up onto your bolster. And we've been adding in a Sphinx meets half frog now recently. So if we've just done a frog pose, but if you feel like it, you may like to bring your knee up. See how that feels. And tuning right back into your breath. Natural rhythm of your breath. If you're doing the half frog, bring your knee down and taking the other one up. So softening as you exhale. Noticing if you have had enough, bringing yourself out of the pose. Bringing your other leg down if you're working there, and let's all release down onto our bellies. Resting your forehead on your hands and taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. And if you feel like doing another one, following along, so deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with an ah. Now let's turn over onto our backs, rolling onto our backs. And from here, we're going to come into our last yin pose, which is a spinal twist today. So if you have your preferred version of spinal twist, head on in at your own pace. Otherwise, I will step you through. Bringing your knees into your chest. And let's take our arms out to the sides at shoulder height. And dropping our knees over to the right side to start with, shuffling our hips a little bit to the left. And if it feels okay for your neck, you can look over towards your left hand. Find your knees are hovering off the ground. Bring a bolster underneath your knees with a nice support. And you can shift the positioning of your knees to deepen the spinal twist. So you can bring your knees closer towards your torso or further away from your torso to find that edge that feels right for you. Also cactus your arms by bending into your elbows. Anyone who wishes to work a little bit deeper into twisted roots, head on in at your own pace if you're not already there, or bring your knees back to the center. And we cross our right knee over our left. Can put your left foot underneath your right calf and drop your knees over to the right. And shuffle your hips again. Also place a bolster under your knees here for support. Let's all settle right into our twist. I'd like to be here for another couple of minutes. You can use your breath, that natural rhythm of your breath, as a way to anchor yourself right here. Nothing to do, just to be in the twist. Notice your mind wanders. So I'm just allowing a little bit more stillness without me talking in the last 15 minutes of class. The mind wanders, you can guide yourself back to your breath, or to just being right here in the twist. So if it feels right for you, you can also start to invite a sense of peace. Peace into your whole being, your body, mind, spirit. Now let's come out of this side. I'm slowly bringing your legs to the center. Maybe like to do a little bit of movement before you go to the other side, or simply heading across to the other side. Bring your knees into your chest, and this time dropping our knees over to the left, shuffling our hips a little bit to the right, finding that nice juicy twist by adjusting your knees either closer to your torso or further away. Using a bolster support under your knees. If you're working there, arms out to the sides, or they can be cactused, bending into your elbows. And if your neck's okay, looking over to your right-hand side. Just softening into the pose with your breath. An always present rhythm of your breath. And if you'd like to deepen into twisted roots, bring your knees back up and cross your right knee over your left. Take your right foot underneath your left calf if it goes there. If it doesn't, you can just leave it out. Drop your knees over to your left. You can rest onto the bolster or towards the ground. Making any adjustments you need to ensure that you're completely comfortable. You can feel that edge. And soften with your breath. And soften the energy of peace through your body with your breath, if you like. If you feel like you need to come out early, feel free to come out. You can rest in Shavasana or any other way. You can rest and still soften with your breath. Let's slowly come out, bringing our knees back up to the center. You may like to bring your knees into your chest, gently rock, or you could place either hand on either knee and circle your knees out to the sides. You're moving the energy through your hips here. Circle back in the opposite direction. And then let's head into Shavasana. So making yourself nice and comfortable. Lie on your back. You can have your knees bent with your feet flat on the floor. You could place a bolster underneath your knees. Can feel quite nice for the energy flow out of your pelvis and down your legs. Or you can simply lie or sit in any other way. I'm going to guide you in a body awareness relaxation practice. If it does not feel right for you, feel free to let my words wash over you. Let's start by bringing our awareness to our feet and softening through our toes and our feet and our ankles. And then noticing our heels in contact with the ground. Shifting your awareness up your lower legs and softening. And feeling any part of your calves that are in contact with the ground. Moving your awareness to your knees, softening from the center of the joint out to the skin on all sides. Moving your awareness through your thighs, softening your thighs, feeling any part of the back of your thighs that are in contact with your mat, your bolster. Moving your awareness to your buttocks and softening your buttocks at the base of your body and softening through your pelvic bowl, through your hips. And then noticing your buttocks, your lower back in connection with the mat. And moving your awareness up through your torso to the middle of your back, below your rib cage. Now inside your rib cage, your upper back, and softening your shoulder blades and your shoulders. Taking one breath in here and exhale and softening your shoulder blades. Your chest softens. Now moving your awareness to your upper arms and softening. Noticing any part of your upper arms in contact with the ground. And your elbows softening through the joints. Your lower arms, to your wrists, hands, all the way down to your fingertips, softening. Noticing back of your hands, any part of the back of your arms in contact with the ground. And now bringing your awareness to your neck and your throat. Softening your neck, your throat. And softening through your jaw. And through your whole face. Eyes, cheeks, your tongue, forehead. And now the sides of your head, your ears, the top of your head, and finishing at the back of your head. Noticing the back of your head in contact with the ground. Now just noticing your whole body, all the parts of your body that are touching your mat or the ground. Just resting in this place of stillness for a little bit longer. Staying in a place of peace, if that's where you feel you are. Now just bringing some movement to your fingers, to your hands, to your toes and feet. Slowly starting to wake up. You may like to stretch out through your arms, stretching out through your legs, and then rolling onto one side. You can use your arms to support yourself. And then bringing yourself right up using the support of your arms. And coming up, and let's bring our hands into prayer just at our heart center. Bow our heads towards our heart. And let's just take a moment here to honor ourselves, for honoring yourself, or coming in for some yin tonight. Practice nourishing mind, body, and spirit through Yin Yoga. Let's honor each other who are practicing this week in the group. And let's honor our sacred earth. Our earth, which we all share, gives us ground for our experience of life. And together, let's say namaste. Namaste. The practice tonight was beneficial for you in some way. And if you do have any questions, please do free to contact me to ask for different options or anything that you're having trouble with or not sure about. Otherwise, I wish you a good week and love to see you next week. Okay, bye.